Hello and welcome back to Northeast Nostalgic. I'm Catherine and I create content about the weird and wonderful history of the northeast of England. So please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Today we're exploring the Victoria Viaduct, Sunderland's most unknown and undoubtedly most beautiful bridge. I hadn't been along this side of the River Wear before, despite only living 10 minutes away. I intended to park at the Mount Pleasant Lakeview car park, but got a bit lost with my sat-nav, so ended up walking from near Herrington Park. Parking at this car park is free and would have been so much easier and takes you straight next to the Fatfield Bridge in the River Wear. You can see the Victoria Viaduct from both sides of the River Wear, so I chose to walk on the Washington side first. However, spoiler alert, the Penshire side is so much better for photographs, but is very clarty. Did you know that Fatfield Bridge is Sunderland's oldest surviving road crossing? It was designed in 1888 and built in 1890, providing a crossing between the mining villages of Penshire, Hetton and Shiny Row, with Washington, Wormhill and Fatfield Village. Before this bridge was built, you either had to float across the river or go all the way to the old Wearmouth Bridge in the east, as the Victoria Viaduct, or Victoria Bridge as it was called, was the only railway-only bridge. I literally followed the path along the riverside, and within 10 to 15 minutes I began to see the Victoria Viaduct. The Victoria Viaduct was built as a railway bridge in 1838 for the Durham Junction railway during the boom of coal and mineral collieries. The railway transported coal from Moseley near Houghton Spring and Hartlepool Dock and Railway to the River Tyne at Gateshead. The Victoria Viaduct opened to mineral traffic on the 24th of August 1838. However, the final stone was laid on Queen Victoria's coronation day of the 20th of June 1838. The bridge carried the main London to Newcastle railway line until 1868 and was used until the 1990s. I wanted to see if I could find the top of the Victoria Viaduct, so I followed the cyclist route and found this old railway bridge concealed into the woodlands. The stone was very similar in colour, so I had an inkling that perhaps trains would have gone over this railway tunnel and across the Victoria Viaduct. I managed to negotiate past tree roots and clarts and found that I could walk over this little bridge, spying railway-looking stones that would have contained the railway tracks. It looked really promising, so I kept walking, imagining the big steam engines thundering ahead with billows of steam, ready to go over the viaduct. I could see the entrance of the top of the Victoria Viaduct at this point, with concrete-looking barricades in front of a metal gate. It felt so sad that trains were no longer able to go over this magnificent bridge. The tracks had been removed, with only the railway stones being a giveaway at this bridge's industrial past. Once I'd got to this point, I was getting curious to how the Victoria Viaduct looked from the other side of the river, so I decided to head back to the Fatfield Bridge. Once on the Penshire side of the River Wear, I began walking past the lake at Mount Pleasant Park and on into the woodlands. Just around the river bend, peaks of the Victoria Viaduct could be seen, with some beautiful photo opportunities. It started to get quite clarty around the side, so definitely wear your wellies when exploring around here. When you get to this little three-way sign, keep heading the way to the Cox Green public footpath. Seeing the bright stonework of the Victoria Viaduct peeking through the trees was so wonderful to see, and I can imagine that this view would look amazing with autumnal hues. The mud was definitely getting thicker here, but I was just going with it for the sake of content. I carried on down the path and started to recognise the view, as many people take their photographs from this little dip to get the perfect shot of the viaduct. This bridge crosses over Washington and Penshire, looking like something out of a fairy tale with its elegant 10-arch design, towering at over 135 feet high. The design of the Victoria Viaduct was based upon the Alcantara Bridge in Spain, constructed entirely from locally quarried Pencha sandstone, excluding the coin stones on the main arches, which were made out of Aberdeen granite. A double track run along the top of the bridge, with a walkway on each side for passengers to soak up the picturesque views. The impressive main arches have a span of 100 foot, 160 foot, 144 foot and 100 foot, with smaller arches on either side. At the time that it was built, it was one of the largest bridges in Europe, being exceeded in arch length by the River Dee Bridge at Chester and in height by the Alcantara Bridge in Spain. The Victoria Viaduct was on my northeast bucket list, so I was so pleased to see it. It looks such an unlikely bridge to be put on Wearside, more likely to be put somewhere else like Oxford or Bath. Towards the end of my walk, I saw some Wearside trail signs with some amazing historic places to go, so I'll definitely be exploring more soon. I'd love to know where you'd recommend that I go next, and please like and subscribe if you like this video and want to see more from me.